Ilsa Faust is alive. I've got a wild mission. Impossible the final reckoning theory after this tease. After mission, impossible. The Final Reckoning's new trailer, I've got a theory that Ilsa Faust is alive, after all, based on one teased scene. From the moment that Ilsa Faust died in Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, theories about the possibility of her still being alive started. The seventh film in the franchise made the death of Rebecca Ferguson's character quite convincing, and that also created a lot of heartbreak for viewers who wanted to see Ilsa's story continue. That left me and anyone else wanting her back to look for any possible way it could happen. Rebecca Ferguson isn't part of Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning's cast list officially, and there's been no definitive tease that she's in the film. I'd mostly given up on the idea that Ilsa would return in any meaningful fashion in the potential franchise conclusion. Yet that's changed with Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning's full trailer. There's not a scene in the trailer that directly references or shows Ferguson's character in full, but one moment makes me believe that Ilsa Faust is alive and part of a major subplot. Better yet, it would work with Dead Reckoning's story. While watching the trailer on repeat, one of many scenes that caught my eye was a shot at the 51-second mark. The camera is focused on someone's right hand, with blood dripping down it while hanging off a bed. The background shows a bald, black man in a blue shirt lying on a bed. The latter directly matches Leather's appearance elsewhere in the trailer. There are also monitors nearby that look like medical monitors commonly found in hospitals. This is notable because Leather is meant to be in hiding by himself, as that's the mission he went on in Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning's ending to help find a way to defeat the entity. That creates a question about who Leather would be willing to share his secret hideout with. Ethan Hunt is a good option, but it does not appear to be him. The trailer shows him greeting and hugging Leather when visiting the location, and he's fully healthy. As long as Gabriel and the entity haven't kidnapped Leather at this point, and he's still in hiding as planned, then whoever he'd be with has to be someone he trusts and cares for. There would be no need for the movie to include another character here if they were not important to the story at hand or the franchise overall. While it's possible that Paris is sent to Leather to recover after Dead Reckoning, that doesn't fully track. Leather seemingly has a separate subplot from Ethan's IMF team in the Final Reckoning, which Paris is on. If the person with Leather isn't Ethan or Paris, I believe it is Ilsa Faust. Grace, Benji, Brandt, Julia, and the White Widow are other possibilities in theory. However, none of them are presently known to be in danger or are shown to be in harm's way enough that they need to be brought to Leather's hideout for protection. Furthermore, Ethan would have to risk exposing Leather's location to the entity by bringing an injured comrade to the hideout. It would make the most sense if the injured person in hiding with Leather were Ilsa Faust. It's worth remembering how Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning handled Ilsa's death. She's seemingly stabbed in the heart and found by Ethan while lying on the ground. The movie doesn't show or explain what happens to Ilsa's body afterward. It instead jumps directly to the aftermath of her death and Ethan's team planning how to do the train heist. Notably, Leather leaves the team immediately after and goes into hiding. I now think that part of the reason why he left so quickly is because Leather's mission was also to protect Ilsa, who is still alive, and help nurse her back to health. She could be the one in this remote, offline location with Leather, and the blood dripping off her hand could be from the wound Gabriel left when he tried to kill her. This would add more importance to Leather's subplot in the Final Reckoning. He wouldn't just be working to stop the entity. He could be part of a secret mission to save Ilsa's life. The biggest hurdle when suggesting that Ilsa Faust is alive after Dead Reckoning is finding a story reason for it to work. Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise wouldn't just undo Ilsa's death to appease fans if it meant hurting the franchise and characters. The good news is that the overarching story between Dead Reckoning and the final reckoning can work if Ilsa is still alive. In some ways, I even think it could improve the movies. The issue that Ethan and the INF repeatedly run into in Dead Reckoning is trying to outsmart the entity and not play into its plan. The AI made its plan clear too. The entity predicted that either Ilsa or Grace would die the night of the White Widow meeting. It also predicted that Gabriel would get the cruciform key shortly after on the train.